Welcome back. This is Mike and Renee Friedrich with the Friedrich Team here at eXp Realty. And today's question is, what should a seller expect in a declining market?
That is a great question.
That's your question.
And there are definitely a lot of tools and tricks that we can employ for our sellers that need to sell or want to sell in this declining market that we find ourselves in now. So
yeah, I think the most important part is more than ever, you got to hit the proper price right from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. And when we're looking at comparables in a declining market, it's really important to not look at what sold 3 months ago, but really look at what's pending right now, because that's really where the market is now versus where it was 3 months ago.
And then, like in the old days, right? I mean, we were in the business in 2008 when everything went down. You have to always price ahead of the market.
Definitely.
When you consider those comps, right? So, and it's difficult because you see your neighbor's husband, for $1 million, let's say that.
Right.
And then, so you naturally want to have $1 million, and it's comparable home. So pricing it at $950 may be a little bit hard, but it may be the difference between you selling or you having to make multiple price reductions.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that we're really starting to see quite a bit now, and it actually ends up saving our sellers some of their equity, is we're seeing a lot of rate buy downs from the seller's perspective. So sellers are offering to buy down an interest rate for a buyer, whether that be temporarily or permanently. And oftentimes that ends up saving both the buyer and the seller more than a price reduction would.
Right.
So you can pay, 1 to 3 points and save anywhere from, a quarter to, sometimes in some cases like 1.5 points on the interest rate. And that makes that payment much more affordable. And let's face it, we all live, payment driven versus dollar for the house driven. And
it's the temporary buy down, right, that you're talking about?
Actually, there's both. So
okay.
There's temporary and permanent. So you can do a temporary buy down, which essentially the seller pays the interest for those first, 1 to 3 years, depending on how they structure it. And then the cool thing from a buyer's perspective is if the interest rates do go down, which we all, hope and pray they do, if that happens, next year or even the year after that, when you refinance, that buy down actually gets credited towards the principal. So you get a big chunk paid down if you don't use all of that rate buy down money. What we see more often, though, is that sellers are helping buyers get a permanent rate buy down, which is also available.
Right. But even if it's not the permanent rate down, so the cool thing for the buyer also, I think, which a lot of people overlook, is you as the buyer, you can ease your way into the higher payment, right? You don't have to come up with this high payment right from the get-go. It gradually goes up, so even if you can't refi, or refinance, we shouldn't use acronyms,
right.
then you have the opportunity to grow into the payment and get used to it. Right.
Right. And especially for our folks that are buying, either their first home or even a move-up home, oftentimes they're at a lower income potential when they're buying than they will be in a year, 2 or 3 from now. So you can, as your income grows, your payment would grow with you. So.
And then, although not so common in our area compared to the Bay Area, right? But a good idea is always to get the inspections out of the way from the get-go, so you know what you're getting yourself into as a seller, and the buyers feel more comfortable writing an offer, right?
Yeah, and then a lot of times that contingency period can be really short, so you know really quickly whether you actually have a deal or not. I would say 2022 for us was the year of people getting cold feet and canceling, both on the buyer side and the seller side. So having those inspections done ahead of time really eliminates a lot of that worry.
Yeah, and then there's a lot more to it, of course, right?
Of course.
Way more than we can cover in a short video. So if you have any questions about how can I structure getting on the market right now, or from a buyer perspective, what should I look out for? Always come and reach out to us.
Yeah.
And that's what
Call
we're here
us, text
for.
us. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in.
We'll see you soon.
Take care.